Hey guys, welcome to the Christmas 24/7. This is a very 80s Christmas. Join us today as we cover fruitcake, ET cereal, and Cool Ranch Doritos. Don't change the dial.
You're tuning in to AfterBuzz TV's The Christmas 24/7 channel, keeping the spirit of Christmas 24/7. Give, forgive, be merry. Ho, 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 ho.
Hey guys, welcome. Oh, I love that music in the background. So 80s, so awesome, so Christmas. I'm your host, Kay Montgomery. This is a very 80s Christmas. We're super excited to get all into food. I'm your resident queen of macaroni and cheese, the kind that has the crust on the top.
Yes.
We got Bethanie Jean on our panel
What's
today.
up, guys?
She is an 80s style expert and icon, ready to weigh in on all things food.
80s freak, really.
Oh, I love it.
Full-blown 80s freak.
Yes. Let the flag fly, I say.
Yeah, my 80s freak flag flies strong.
Awesome.
Really strong.
So we're going to be covering food today. I wanted to start off with desserts because I think the much maligned, probably most popular dessert of the 1980s is fruitcake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was represented in a lot of kind of eternal decades of Christmas. It's also kind of disgusting.
You know what?
And it's weird you ship it to people. I'm just going to go ahead and say, why are we shipping desserts to people?
Do you know it can, if it is sealed correctly, it can last for 25 years.
Yeah, that's not food. Just so we're all clear. That's a product that you can digest.
A
but that's not
food-like
food.
product. Do you
Yeah.
digest it? No.
I don't know. No one knows.
There's so much controversy around fruitcake because I remember in the 80s, it was in all kinds of movies. I was actually watching a clip from National Lampoons, and there's a clip in it where they're like, you know, Auntie, did you get this? They're like older auntie, did you get this fruitcake that we sent to you? And she was like, yeah, I got it. And they were like, did you like it? And she was like, do I like throwing up? What do you think? And I was like, oh, snaps.
I love it.
But I feel like that just kind of embedded into like the 1980s psyche that this was just like awful.
And if you really look at fruitcake and you examine it, like it's suspect.
It-
I mean,
it-
I get the maraschino cherries, but they're like candied.
Yes.
And then there's something green that I think is supposed to resemble mint.
Okay, here's the thing. So I looked this up.
This is off the
because I was
cuff.
like-
I have not been giving fruit.
I was like,
cake
what
sauce.
is this? We have a couple of pictures of fruitcake. Maybe Ryan can throw them up so we can see the green day glow that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's maraschino cherries because sometimes they dye it.
Okay.
And then sometimes it's a fruit called citron. That's a dried fruit that's supposed to be sweet. And they
Yeah.
make it green
Let's
as
not
well.
put dried fruit in our cake, though. But I get what they're going with it in terms of like, yeah, no, it's dessert, but it's red and green, so it's festive for Christmas.
It's like, is it? Yeah, I think it's really, really funny how I hate it. But honestly, my hand on the Bible, I've never even had a piece. Have you?
Yeah, it's
have
not
you tasted
enticing.
it before?
I have, but I think I've blocked that memory. Like I've repressed it hard. I really tried to scoot it out of my memory banks because it wasn't very good.
Yeah, I don't think it came over to America well, but
Where did it originate?
so it was really popular like in the Victorian era.
Okay.
It's really English.
sense.
It's very English, and actually it's been present at all of the royal weddings. So Prince Harry had it at his wedding, his brother.
English was my guess.
Yeah, so Princess
go.
Di and Prince Charles had a piece of fruitcake. They had a fruitcake at their wedding.
I was gonna say, wait, do they only serve fruit
No.
cake?
It's amongst other things, but it's like
You're
very
like-
traditional and very much. It's
I
kind of
get
like
invited.
a groom's cake.
I get invited to the royal wedding, and you guys are making me eat fruitcake.
And you're like, pass.
The
Everybody's like,
price you pay.
What a faux pas. See, we're saving people a faux pas. So when you guys go and visit the queen, you'll
Yeah,
know.
you'll
If you
know.
go to the next royal wedding, you'll know that you might get served a piece of fruitcake and you'll
Don't
have to
turn
choke
your
it
nose
down.
up at that
Yeah, do
weird
not.
suspect neon green substance
Do not.
that they're calling dried fruit.
Yeah, you'll be in big trouble. So Charles and Diana's cake, they had a slice of the fruitcake. It sold at auction a couple of years ago for $6,000. One slice of the fruitcake, not the wedding cake,
Wow.
the fruitcake. And it was like 27
That's
years old.
fascinating. That's really fascinating.
Super old and gross.
I always think it's kind of gross, the whole freeze the top layer of your wedding cake. I mean, this is what we do. I did it. But then your first anniversary comes and like, do you really want to eat a cake that's been frozen for a year?
No, we didn't eat ours. Did you guys eat yours?
No. I took it out and was like, glad this took up space in my fridge for the full year. It kind of just felt like I was paying my dues as a newlywed.
Yes.
Like, nope, just keep some room in your fridge
keep it
for
in
that.
there so I can
And
say
then it was,
that I
like,
did it.
in the trash.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're not eating that.
Let's just say we did it.
And then it was so stupid too, because it was, every layer is a different flavor. And it was like a cool flavor that no one got to eat because you have to save it.
You took the whole top layer?
Yeah, the whole top layer. You're supposed to save your top layer.
Ah, we just took a slice and wrapped it and never ever
That's
ate
smart
it.
on space and feeding your guests. Yeah.
So speaking of space, also there was a fruitcake on the Apollo 11 mission.
really?
Yes, but listen, this is what's hilarious. They ain't eat it.
They're like, we're going to go for this powdered packaged
gonna
stuff.
take it.
We'll take the space food.
It's literally in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. Like, it went to space and it came back, and they were like, let's put it in the Smithsonian. Nobody ate it.
That's
that
hilarious.
says something. Like,
that says a lot about fruitcake. I kind of feel bad. We're really picking on fruitcake.
Yeah, well,
my grandma enjoyed it.
there's
God
a
rest
lady
her
that
soul.
has
She liked
an
it.
organization like lobbying for like good fruitcake, and like she
okay.
loves fruitcake, and she had it out with
Alright.
Johnny Carson back in the 80s
Okay.
because he made a bad joke about it.
On to other 80s desserts and cakes. I was just remembering something. Do you remember dump cakes?
Yes.
Sounds really gross, actually delicious.
Mm-hmm.
The concept was like you just layer things. This was very 80s.
Yes, it was very 80s.
So you would put like a dry packet of cake mix, like vanilla or whatever. And then if you wanted, just throw some frozen berries in there, and then it makes it like a cobbler.
Mm-hmm.
And then you pop like a 7-Up or a ginger ale or something. You just pour it on top. That's
yes.
all you do. Dump cake. That's why they call it dump cake.
I
Because you
think
just
I've
dump
had
it all
some
in.
like once
And it's
before.
delicious.
Is it good? I've had some like maybe once before. I remember it being super popular in the 80s. Like, did people sometimes bake it in a bundt?
I imagine you could.
I think I had it
That's
in a
actually a
bundt
really
before.
smart way to go about it.
I think I might have had it
You
in a
want to
bundt.
make sure that the liquid dissolves all the dry ingredients. Because I have had a little a little dry piece.
Have you had any recently? Like, do you make it?
I
make it?
made dump cake probably about a year or two back.
You
Yeah.
do?
I don't remember what the occasion was, but I was like, oh, that's a thing. I should just make a dump cake. And
That
like
is
it
so
was so
cute.
good.
You are a real 80s aficionado, keeping it alive.
I mean, I don't know if it's something to be proud of, but it is the truth.
Well, I didn't make sugar cookies with my mom, but I make sugar cookies with my kids now. We have cookie cutters, and we do sugar cookies every year. Yeah.
Yeah, we do that too.
That's one of my favorites.
As far as sweet treats go, the 80s had, like, the 80s was so gimmicky. And I think that's why we love it so much. We look back with such nostalgia, but push pops
Yes.
were invented in the 80s. Do you remember Squeeze-Its?
I do remember Squeeze It.
They're kind of like a little bottle that was a
that was
squeezy bottle.
plastic, and then see now this makes me
sugar
think of
syrup substance in the middle.
This makes me think of the Christmas school party. Because remember, every year at school, you would have a Christmas school party, and then your teacher would go to the front of the classroom, and she would go in front of the blackboard, and she would write your name, and then write down the thing that you could bring. And this is when all the really good, like, junk food / fat foods would come out.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Which the 80s really invented this. Like, what
absolutely.
were people eating in the 70s? I'm sorry if you were a kid in the 70s.
Because
You did not enjoy all this.
Yeah, it was before legit junk food was invented.
Yeah. 80s
Plastic
invented
was
junk food.
became super popular.
Yeah.
So yeah, those squeezes were the bomb.
Capri Suns, Crystal Pepsi. Who remembers Crystal
Pepsi.
It was just
I think I
clear
have
Pepsi.
a picture of New Coke. I had a New Coke on my list too.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Oh, and also on that topic, that's when Cherry Dr. Pepper came out, which I assume you can probably still get that.
That was a revelation.
And then there was High C and Ecto Coolers.
I remember Ecto Coolers because how big was Ghostbusters?
Oh my gosh,
Huge.
Who you
So
gonna
to
call?
have the
Who you gonna call
ectoplasm
for High C? An Ecto Cooler.
An Ecto Cooler. Yeah.
Kool-Aid, Tab was really big.
Tab was whatever happened to Tab. Tab was just like Dr. Pepper, but like yeah. I felt like grandmas loved Tab. I love Tab, but I felt like it was like an old person.
I didn't really drink soda much growing up.
Oh yeah.
Wah wah. No, I really didn't like it. I don't like soda.
What about, I had on my list, Cool Ranch Doritos were invented in the 80s.
Oh my gosh. And they stand up. Ooh, you know what else was invented in the 80s on that topic was chili Fritos.
Ooh.
Remember chili cheese Fritos?
Yes.
Those two chips are like go-tos of mine. Chili cheese Fritos and Cool Ranch Doritos. And then nacho cheese Doritos, I'm pretty sure. I think Doritos were invented in the 80s.
were, Cool Ranch Doritos were like, I remember when they came out, it was like.
But what about Pringles?
What is that?
Once you pop, you can't stop.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
And then there was the pizza flavor Pringle. So good.
But Cool Ranch Doritos still hold up. I mean, I feel like as a chip and nostalgia, I will still rock with a Cool Ranch Dorito.
Oh,
still
for sure.
Delicious. I feel like if you brought them to the Christmas class party.
First gone.
Yeah, definitely first
gone.
and you're a
when
hit.
you buy like a Costco thing of multi-packs of chips, it's like Cool Ranch is the first one out.
The first one's out,
like,
yeah.
Who doesn't want
absolutely.
Cool Ranch?
Oh, I miss those Christmas parties.
Another sweet treat, the pudding pops. Think of Bill Cosby. The pudding pops.
Oh,
There's
it's such
little
a bad.
commercials.
It's such a,
I know
it's
he
such a
ruined
bad
pudding
connotation.
pops. He ruined Jello Jigglers. He ruined everything.
He ruined so many things.
But back
sadly.
then, we thought he was a good guy.
We did.
And we ate it up.
And we
He was our
love Jello
favorite.
pudding pops.
I know.
So funny and
the pudding
awesome.
pops. I still say that to my husband sometimes.
Around Christmas, California would pretty much be the only place you could eat a Jello pudding pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, anywhere else you'll be freezing and it'd be too cold.
No one's grabbing pudding pops in like Minnesota on Christmas Day.
Although I do have my niece who loves sweet treats. It's always, she posted something on her Instagram that said, if you're a friend and you tell me it's too cold to get ice cream, then I need to rid myself of you. I don't need that type of negativity in my life. I eat ice cream year round. I don't care about the weather, which I thought was a good
Dolly
point.
Parton has a quote like that.
Yeah.
Something about like if someone tells you your hair is too big, you need to get rid of them. You don't need that sort of negativity in your life.
Dolly Parton. I love that.
I know. She's
I
the best.
absolutely love it. So moving on to news. I hear we have a little bit of
Oh yeah. We're gonna just do a flashback celebrity news and gossip
I love
segment,
it.
right?
I love it.
So Madonna has come out with her greatest hit, Santa Baby, a rendition. And speaking of Madonna, I think she might be making Sean Penn her Santa Baby.
Sean
Because they've been
Penn.
seen together. Can you believe it? What a couple. Power couple.
What a definitely power
Do you
couple.
think he'll be bringing her home to mom for Christmas?
Ooh, that'd be scandalous.
Scandalous.
Madonna is very scandalous. We've
Yeah.
never seen anything like it.
If you all were around in the 80s, you might have thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up with more of these. More post-dated news segments.
More flashback news
Yeah,
segments.
flashback news segments.
So you have a kid in school, as do I. And when we talk about Christmas school parties foods, we're naming Coke and fruit roll-up and cheese balls and Cool Ranch Doritos. But I know now things are a little bit different. You have to worry about
Nut allergies.
allergies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids don't have dairy.
Yep.
There's a lot of vegan children,
Mm-hmm.
gluten-free.
Yes.
So I haven't actually had a holiday party for Bowie yet. She is in preschool. So that'll be coming up.
Oh,
I'll let you guys know what I bring.
Man, I've done many a Christmas party.
Probably Kind bars. Nope, those have nuts. Okay, I don't know.
You got to bring a fruit. It's the fruit
Yeah.
is the safest
The universal.
thing to do.
But not fruit cake, because that has gluten.
Because that's nasty. Plus, it's nasty. Ain't nobody kid eating that. But like fruit is so sad for a Christmas. I mean, you don't.
I know.
You want to be the fun mom. But
So when
you
my
might have to bring
mom
oranges.
was a kid, they all in their Christmas stockings would get like a tangerine or an orange, like in the toe of the stocking.
Oh, yeah, we
and
still
then they
do
would
that
get
at our
nuts and
house.
stuff. And when we were kids, my mom tried to implement that into our stockings, and we were like, "Why are you giving us an orange?" Like we thought it was so weird. We didn't get it at all. And my mom was like, "Oh, I loved the orange," but my mom was.
Oh no,
She was a preacher's kid. They were poor.
There's a sweet. Well, we put them in our kids' stocking, but there's a sweet story to the orange. You've never heard the sweet orange?
Oh, I
story?
don't know. Maybe I forgot
About
it.
the
Tell me.
kids. So there were a long time ago. There were kids that were in this orphanage, and the only thing they got for Christmas was an orange. But the headmistress was really mean, and one kid got in trouble on Christmas Eve, and so she told him, "You will not get an orange." So he was not going to get anything for Christmas. But when he woke up the next morning, he saw something in his stocking, and it was segments of an orange all put together to make one. Every kid from the orphanage had taken a section out of their orange and put it in his stocking to make one.
No, I've
Isn't that
never
sweet?
heard that.
Yeah.
That is...
So we put an orange in our
my
kid's
gosh.
stocking as
Okay,
in
Bowie,
remembrance
you're getting
of the
oranges
story.
in your stocking.
Remembering of the sweet
That's so
remembrance
sweet.
of the
I've never
sweet
heard
story.
that.
Yeah.
That is really sweet.
Yeah. So when we talk about desserts, okay, so we know neither of us are doing fruitcake because we're not fans, even though I guess I feel kind of bad about
Or
it now because
mincemeat
I've never.
pie. I'm just going to be real firm on that one.
Oh. So what kind of desserts do you do now?
Do I do now?
Yeah.
Still really traditional. I mean, some of these things aren't super specific to a decade.
Yeah.
You know, like the same thing our grandparents were having as kids. But I love pumpkin pie. I love pecan pie. Those are probably my two favorites. But I also love crumbles, like apple cranberry crumbles. I usually make that at least once a winter. My sister Charity has an amazing recipe. This is probably an 80s recipe. I'm going to guess. But it's a pistachio tort, and it's made with pistachio pudding.
Interesting.
So like Jell-O makes their pudding line. They have a green. So it's green.
What kind of green? Like, is it that bright
Yeah, it's
neon?
that pistachio pudding green, you know? And it's basically like a graham cracker crust with the pistachio pudding. And then I think just whipped cream. And then it has pistachio nut crumbles across the top. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's like addictive.
I'm not generally a pudding person, but I'm definitely a pistachio person.
Oh, well, you would love it.
Yeah, so I wonder. I'm like,
I had a pistachio macaron yesterday from Bottega Louise.
oh my gosh, I love Bottega Louise.
Me too.
I love it.
That was not around the 80s.
Oh, I had a giant,
But
a
it's
couple of weeks
delicious.
ago, I had a giant raspberry one that has like the actual raspberries inside.
Yes.
It's huge. It's the big one.
Yes.
So good.
That's what I get on my birthday.
Oh. So you know what? I feel like that would be a good choice for a Christmas dessert. Macarons. Why not?
Macarons.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes macarons, but
Who does it?
my husband, what's wrong with him?
More for you.
More for me. That's what Bowie and I say.
So Christmas, moving along to Christmas breakfast, I found a bunch of 80s, crazy 80s cereals. So I feel like cereals aren't what they used to be. Like in the 80s, there was a cereal for like every cartoon, so I found E.T. cereal. Did you see E.T. cereal? I think I have a picture of it if Ryan wants to throw it up. I had a picture. I saw E.T. cereal, which is like these little brown crunchies. It looks gross because it looks like E.T. fingers. Just like a bunch of, it's so disgusting.
You should dip each individual one in like red frosting. It just
like-
looks like the E.T. phone home finger.
Yeah. So E.T. had a cereal. Mr. T had a cereal.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. I Pity the Fool T had a cereal, which I feel like
We
is
had
awesome.
that. We were big 18 fans.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't even...
I still love Mr. T.
Wait, did Mr. T ever have a cartoon? Because the box isn't the regular Mr. T. The box is a cartoon Mr. T.
Yeah, the A-Team. I don't want to be misquoted. I do believe the A-Team had a cartoon, though.
Oh, my gosh. I had totally forgotten about that. So, Mr. T, Strawberry Shortcake, of course, had her own cereal, which... I adored and love strawberry shortcake.
I still do.
That was one of my favorite Christmas presents was a strawberry shortcake, but she smelled like strawberry.
She still does.
Does she really?
Oh, yeah. We have vintage strawberry shortcakes at our house. And new ones. And they have the exact same scent. And the ones that were mine as a kid still smell the exact same. They don't lose their scent.
Oh,
wow. It's incredible.
Is that good or bad? Like, what
I'm
is
sure
it
it's
made
cancer
from?
causing, but it is. I mean, what a way to go.
I'm like, what is it?
Just sniffing up the strawberry shortcake.
What is it made from that it keeps? Yeah.
You know what else there was is Rainbow Bright, who was my other favorite.
Oh my gosh, I love Rainbow Bright. I
Rainbow
was
Bright
so excited
cereal.
because I got the horse one year. Yeah, Rainbow Bright cereal was awesome. I also saw Smurfberry Crunch.
Yes.
I remember actually eating Smurfberry Crunch. That was on the rotation at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it. Pac-Man
like the
also had a
crunches.
cereal, which I don't remember ever eating Pac-Man cereal, but I remember
Yeah.
Pac-Man the
And Donkey
game
Kong.
was the bomb. Donkey Kong was
Yeah.
a cereal too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
And then Mario and Luigi. All of them.
Yeah.
All those, of course, that's when video games came out.
Yeah.
So they were quite their age.
All the video games.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, Smurf berries. They had a Cabbage Patch cereal, which was awesome.
I feel like that would be really weird. Because my
I mean,
Cabbage Patch
everything-
is a doll, but then
I think it
eating
looks like the cabbage cutout with the face, which we thought was adorable. In hindsight, it's a little creepy and weird, but I love Cabbage Patch.
Like you're eating a Cabbage Patch baby. I love Cabbage Patches too.
They had ice cream cones, which were like, some were the triangle pieces looking like a cone, and some looked like an ice cream scoop. So they were like little like vanilla and maybe strawberry balls, like Neapolitan looking with like the chocolate cones, I think.
That sounds like something I would have loved as a kid.
Yeah.
A cereal that seemed like
ice cream.
Ice cream?
Well, that was a whole thing.
Genius.
They were like, what can we capitalize on that kids think is dessert, and let's just make it a cereal. And then the mom thinks the cereal is really just dessert.
It's really just dessert.
But there was
Hashtag
Cookie Crunch.
Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, Cookie Crisp.
100%.
Cookie Crisp. Dunkin' Donuts had a cereal. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch has hung.
Man, that's
How has Cinnamon Toast Crunch has hung in there though?
Because they're delicious.
They've endured the test of time. Very impressive. I think it's so interesting because now, like with my kids, I'm not even a very like strict healthy mom, but I know too much sugar too early in the morning is not good for my kids. So I started a long time ago. We don't do sugar cereal except Christmas. I'll buy a box of Lucky Charms, or I'll buy a box of cereal that has a lot of sugar in it, like around that time. But usually Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, I'll do a blueberry casserole.
Ooh, yeah, blueberry casserole. I'm into that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you so much as super fans of Christmas. And we want to thank Maria and Keven for giving us this platform. If you're listening to us on a podcast, make sure that you give us a 5-star rating. We always love those. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Either way, if you're listening or watching, you could always leave us a comment. Those are always super helpful, and we're just grateful to have you guys as super fans.
And let us know what you want to see more of.
Yeah, definitely.
This 80s Christmas lineup.
80s Christmas. We're thinking shopping. We're thinking, let us know if you want to do toys, or we're going to be doing some memory flashback stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Love it. I don't want to drive the cart here, but are we going to get into just 80s meals?
We are going to get into 80s meals right now.
Lead the way.
Yeah. So I was thinking, because we're specifically talking about Christmas, like one of my favorite 80s Christmas dishes when I think about memories is definitely mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I feel like mac and cheese in the 80s, because everything was getting very microwavable, was really, popular, microwave meals, microwave foods. And so just having like ready-made mac and cheese was really popular, which was good during the week on a regular day. But for me, nothing beats that down-home macaroni and cheese for Christmas. That's like, when it's browned on top, a bunch of different cheeses in it. That's like my favorite
the Velveeta.
Christmas.
Velveeta really changed the game in the 80s when Velveeta came out.
Yeah. But my mom would never put Velveeta in her Christmas macaroni and cheese.
I don't use it myself, but people love it.
Yeah, people love it.
But it was such the thing of the 80s.
But my mom, no way. She was all fresh cheese. And I remember just like sitting at the kitchen table, she would be like, shred this. And I'll be like, how much of it? She'd be like, the whole thing. The block, like bigger than your face. Like, and I would just be there like all day and like eventually get to the bottom nubs and like scratch scrape my finger on it while I'm trying to, for that mac and cheese. It was worth it though. Oh, worth it. Look how cute that ornament. I love mac and cheese. That's so dope.
That's cute. When I think of the 80s, this isn't all necessarily specific to Christmas, but I think of a Hamburger Helper. That was huge in the 80s.
Yes.
And Sloppy Joes. They were like, I don't know if Sloppy Joes didn't exist before the 80s or if they just got really popular then, but that was definitely a thing.
I remember the Manwich meal commercials. They were huge. Yeah.
I
want a Manwich meal.
And frozen, the frozen meals. That was like all very indicative of that era. Casseroles were huge.
Casseroles were big.
Which is funny because now that when I was younger, I used to think, casseroles are casual. They're like this thing that's like, you just throw it in a pan together and bake it and it's all done. Like, no. Now I'm a grown up and I realize, you know what goes into casseroles? You basically make an entirely separate meal. It's all prepared and good to go. It's all been cooked. Then you put it together and just warm it with a crust. Like, that's the idea of casserole.
Yep.
Which is really funny to me.
But I remember that all the time in the 80s, casseroles all over the place. Like my mom didn't personally make casseroles a ton, but I remember constantly seeing casseroles like on TV and like some of my favorite dishes are in casseroles.
Heck yeah.
Because at church like makes the best casseroles. Have you ever had funeral potatoes? I feel like it's like universal. Have you ever had potatoes with the cheese in it and then they put like a crunchy layer on top?
Yes, I'm all about that. But speaking of casseroles, green bean casserole is like a staple on holiday meals.
Yeah. But I wasn't introduced to green bean casseroles until I married my husband.
You're kidding.
My family never did green bean casseroles ever.
How funny.
Ever. And I was like, what is this?
Delicious.
And they were like, you never had green bean casserole? It has this, these onions on top. And I was like,
yeah,
I'll give it a try only because it has crunchy stuff on top. And then I fell in love with it.
She just wants that crunch top.
Yeah, I love that. I love a crunchy.
I just want that
crunchy, cheesy top. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That's funny. You never had it before that.
And I know I don't really like green beans, but I love green bean casserole.
Yeah, green bean casserole is so good. I feel like it's always a star of a show at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Not at my Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Not yours.
I really feel like, and I don't generally like to speak for all Black people, but I feel like on this I can and say, like, Black Thanksgiving is macaroni and cheese 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when my husband and I got married, because my husband's not Black, my husband's white, and I went to his Thanksgiving. I was like, where is the macaroni and cheese? And they were all like, oh, well, we can make macaroni and cheese for you, like a box macaroni and cheese. I was like, no.
I have to say, I've never made macaroni and cheese for a holiday meal.
Really? Okay,
No.
so this is what's great
really...
for the comments. This is what we need for the comments.
This is a racial thing.
I really think it is a Black thing.
Because
I've seen it on Black Twitter before, too.
This is a long story, but my very white family had a very cute Black girl marry into it, and that's what she brought for Thanksgiving dinner was a huge, beautiful macaroni and cheese. But I remember seeing it on the thing and being like, oh, that's interesting. She wants to bring mac and cheese. Like, well, that's fun. And I was thinking, like, the kids will love that. And then I had it, and I was like, oh, this is great. I get it. That's
the funny thing is that's the exact same thing my husband's family. They were like,
green bean casseroles are specific to, like, white people, and mac and cheese. It's like... That's funny.
The crossover for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the crossover.
No, that's hilarious because that's what his family thought. Like, oh, that's fun for the kids. And I'm like, no, it's not a kid's thing.
They both have the crunchy topping. Like, they kind of are,
I feel like let's have both.
They swap it out.
That's what we do. At our house, we do both.
So the other thing I think of when I think of the 80s food is, which isn't really holiday specific, but do you just remember how big pizza was and like pizza parties? I don't know what it was about the 80s, but like people were psycho for pizza and pizza parties.
Pizza parties
like,
at school were
everything
huge.
was a pizza party.
Yeah.
Like pizza party.
Did you do Book It? Did you ever do Book It?
No, what's that?
Okay, so this was like Pizza Hut. Like this was in the 80s. I remember like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. They would have this thing where if you read a book, a certain number of books, they would give you this little coupon and it said Book It on it. And you would be able to get a free personal pan pizza, which was like a kid's dream because pizza parties were the bomb.
It was the thing.
Yeah. There used to be
it's so funny. It's just a meal, just so everyone knows. Like, to kids in the 80s, it was crack cocaine.
I remember the Pizza Party board game. Do you remember that?
No, but that's hilarious.
It had the greatest song. Party, pizza party.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yes. Oh, that's so funny.
For my daughter's first birthday party, I threw her a Lisa Frank themed birthday party.
Yes.
So everything was Lisa Frank, ultra 80s. But because it was 80s, we had it at a pizza parlor and we had an 80s Lisa Frank pizza party. That's like what her birthday party was.
I love it.
I just think something about the 80s pizza parties.
That is so fun. So it was unicorns.
Oh my gosh.
Rainbows,
I'll show you her cake later.
Pink everything
her
everywhere.
Her cake was so legit. For starters, it was rainbow tiered on the inside.
Oh, that's...
So like different rainbow, like 5 different cakes were baked in different very bright colors, and then it was all fondant covered, and then it had the kind of sleeping unicorn eyes and the horn, and then a big beautiful rainbow mane of like flowers, like frosting flowers and stuff.
That's so
And then
cute.
I called it, we sang her Happy Existence Day, and it said Happy Existence Day Bowie.
That's
it was
so
like unicorn
cute.
Thing. Yeah, it was cute.
Oh, I love
it was
that.
Very cute. I mean, she's 1. She totally doesn't get it, but it was for me, and I loved it very much.
Well, that's what's important.
Yeah.
I mean, half of raising kids is just amusing yourself. That's what my husband and I say. So.
I'm such an 80s freak, like, for her Halloween costumes. Well, this year we were Masters of the Universe, so I waited my whole life to be She-Ra. So I was She-Ra, and Bowie was my unicorn, Swift Winds. So it's like the rainbow Pegasus with the mask and the shield.
Yes.
And then my husband Ryan was Skeletor.
Oh, he didn't want to be
awesome.
He-Man?
I tried, girl.
Nice.
I tried to push He-Man on him.
I like the switch up of Skeletor.
He was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not wearing the muscle suit, and I'm not wearing the wig. I was like, I have a bob wig for you. You don't want to do
bob wig.
And then she and I were Care Bears.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, we always do 80s stuff.
You cannot beat the Care Bears for a little fun, rambunctious bunch of guys.
So cute.
So cute.
So cute.
So now we're going to just slide on into our special segment. It's called My Christmas Jam. Jam. So my Christmas Jam this week is Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. Have you ever heard Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC?
I don't know. I'm sure I recognize
The
it.
famous line is, it's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens.
Oh my gosh, I love
Reverend.
it so much.
I was recently reading, because last week was the 32nd anniversary of Christmas in Hollis. It's recording. Reverend Run was saying how he wrote the line over breakfast in about a minute. He was high and eating eggs and toast, he said, and he knocked it out. This is before he was Reverend Run. He was high. Right. Back in his rapping days. There it is. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Good job,
Obviously,
Brian. Yes. So he wrote it in a
Thank
minute.
you for that.
Who does that? The genius of it.
amazing.
Yeah. And they were very ambivalent. They didn't really want to do a Christmas song because they thought it would take away from their street cred. But their record company was really pushing them, like, we could make some serious money off of this. And of course now nobody thinks they lost any street cred. It's just like a great Christmas song.
I forgot they even did it.
Special shout out to Ryan last week, who's talking to us about Die Hard being a Christmas movie.
Oh my gosh, that is the most controversial question. I have heard countless conversations of people going back and forth about that.
This has swung it a little bit in its favor. I feel like I found out that Christmas in Hollis is in Die Hard. So I feel like that inched it a little bit closer for me, because at first I was like, absolutely not. But then when I heard Christmas in Hollis is in Die Hard, because it's been forever since I've seen Die Hard, I'm like, it's a good argument in the 4 box.
I mean, I guess really any movie that takes place specifically at Christmas time, and that's the theme, is a Christmas movie. I mean, you can't really argue it. I think it doesn't have a traditional lasting emotion that most Christmas movies have. Usually there's this like drive home feeling of like, well, what's most important? And we're all together, and the gift of giving, and it's for the children. Like, it just doesn't have that. So I don't think people think of it like that. But hey, if it's Christmas in your movie, it's a Christmas movie, right?
Really?
I guess.
I don't know. The debate rages on. I would love to hear what our super friends think in the comments, especially people who love Christmas. I want them to let us know in the comments how you feel about that.
Yes, yeah. I love this. I ask people sometimes if they think it's a Christmas movie, because I just think it's a funny thing. It's so controversial.
Yeah.
People usually feel really strongly in either direction.
But I felt, if you would have talked to me last week, I felt really strongly that it wasn't. But then once I found out that Christmas in Hollis was in it, I was like, that pushes it close. So I'm kind of in the middle now. I don't know.
Right.
Well, we are so appreciative for you guys coming and checking us out today. Next week, we'll get more into Christmas shopping, especially the differences between when we used to have to, our parents probably used to have to wait in super long lines, and us just sitting on our couches. So that'll be interesting to cover. So we'll talk a little bit about that next week. But before we go, I want to let you guys know that you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at HostK. What about you, Bethany Jean? Where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Bethanie Jean Official. That's Bethany with an IE.
Awesome. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Chief Elf Officers Keven Undergaro and Maria Menounos, Chief Spirit Officer Jeff Graham, and the entire The Christmas 24/7 channel, we would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV's The Christmas 24/7 channel. If you have questions or comments, email us at thechristmas247@gmail.com. Until next time, do your best to give, forgive, and be merry. Ho, 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 ho.